we speak, Philadelphia is hosting the parade to honor the Eagles' Super Bowl win. Eagles fans, naturally, out in droves to celebrate with the players who brought home the franchise's second Lombardi trophy. I want to revisit something that we discussed in the that's right, bring it in tight. That we discussed in the 2-week build-up to the Super Bowl about the legacy of Patrick Mahomes, the greatness of Mahomes, the Chiefs, all that stuff, and how Mahomes' greatness was preventing guys like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson from achieving their true greatness, right? All these Hall of Fame quarterbacks that were never going to have a Super Bowl because of Patrick Mahomes. Fast forward to the Super Bowl where the Eagles absolutely smashed Kansas City and expose them as the weakest Kansas City team we've seen in years. Offensive line issues, running issues, a below-average Travis Kelce based on what we've seen in the past, and a defense that, while it did a good job against the run, couldn't keep up with the Eagles' passing attack. I wonder, after watching Philadelphia smash Kansas City like that, how do we now view Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? This was the year to take out the Chiefs. It turns out now this was as vulnerable as they've been, and yet, once again, Kimberly Martin, I'll turn it over to you. The idea that Lamar and Josh couldn't get past this year when the Chiefs were at their weakest. Discuss.
Honestly, I hate the how do they look bad. Who's to say that the Ravens and the Bills wouldn't have looked as bad against this Philly front? Who's to say that they would have fared any better than the Chiefs? I think what this loss does do is sort of give more of the credence to Mahomes is their kryptonite. So, like Josh and Lamar can't get through Mahomes, no matter how the Chiefs as a whole look, they just can't get through him. But the idea of like, oh, this makes them look worse. Honestly, last year, I thought the Ravens missed a golden opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs looked vulnerable. Didn't happen. But to say those two, Lamar and Josh Allen, looked bad, I just think that's a bridge too far to cross.
Stephen A.
Couple of things. Kimberly, I say this respectfully to you, to everybody else in this business. Seriously, I'm being very serious. I'm not joking.
Are you?
I am. We got to stop worrying about, we say stuff like, I hate this question, I hate that question. That's them. Because they hate us asking these questions. You notice that you cover sports, and no matter what you say, Kimberly, somebody gonna pick it apart. They misconstrue what you say. And then we got to couch it with a whole bunch of, laudables, and we got to make sure that I'm tired of all it. Take too much damn effort. We entitled to talk sports. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't talk sports, they wouldn't get paid the money they paid to get paid to play the sport. Okay, right. So we contribute to elevating the interest in the sport, just like everybody. If they, you know what? And so many times, Jay, I've said this on many occasions. I wish sometimes, particularly in the modern day era, that these players would reflect back to what life was like when you were playing during COVID. How did you feel looking at people watching you on video instead of being in attendance? How did you feel about playing in an empty stadium or an empty arena? Rough. Did you like it then? All of a sudden, what you took for granted, you all of a sudden realize, damn, the roar of that crowd, that rabid interest, it matters. Well, guess what? Shows like this and various other television shows at this network and beyond contribute to the elevation of the sport because we elevate its popularity. More money is generated, more revenue. As a result, they get some more money in their pocket. Everybody's happy. So let's I just want to say that, okay? Now let me say this to you. Neither Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen walks away from here looking bad. Do you know why? Because the Super Bowl didn't come down to some moment where Jalen Hurts just showed up and the game was on the line and it was a nail-biter and he delivered the goods that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson couldn't. No. Kansas City got their ass kicked. They got bum rushed by a front four that slaughtered Patrick Mahomes, that had Andy Reid looking like an average coach, that's got Travis Kelce wondering about retirement. This is what they did. I mean, it is amazing. And listen, I'm not saying this to disrespect anybody, okay, because I want to make sure that I'm very, very clear about what I'm about to say. Chris Jones is an absolute stud. Put me up on the camera when I say this, please, because it's very important. Chris Jones is an absolute stud. What did y'all say? We see this brother crying for the national anthem. Mm-hmm. We see this brother crying when they're about to win the Super Bowl. That brother just had a melancholy look on his face, rife with helplessness, because he knew that what he couldn't do was go out there and play offense for the Kansas City Chiefs. There's nothing he could do. He had to sit there. He had to sit back and watch that Eagles defense bum rush his boy Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the crew. That was an ass kicking. Let's just understand. Let's remind him. That was an ass. We give Jalen Hurts the MVP. He deserved it because he played well and what have you. But easily it could have been argued that the front four should have been the MVP. What they did to the Kansas City Chiefs was an annihilation. It was an epic beat down on the biggest. The game was 34-0. I don't care about that damn final score. It's 34-0. 34-0 in the third quarter. It was a wrap, okay? So nothing came really down to it, and that's the difference. Had it came down to the wire and Jalen Hurts found a way to beat Kansas City in a thriller, then we'd be looking at something he did compared to Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. But I got news for you. The Eagles' defense beat Kansas City so bad, Mitchell Trubisky might have ended up walking away with the Super Bowl championship if he was behind center. That's how bad of a beatdown the Eagles' defense did to Kansas City.
The hyperbole for me.
All right, take a breath.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jay. Jay, before you go, I'm sorry, Kimberly, before you go, let me ask y'all this quick question. In the first half, didn't Patrick Mahomes throw a pick six? And then follow that up with another interception on his own 14-yard line that led to a touchdown. So he basically gave. I think Mitchell Trubisky could be behind center and watch a quarterback give his team 14 points. That's what he did. All right. That's what happened.
All right, come up for air.
Enough.
That's what happened.
Cut him off.
I'm not making
All right, J-Max up.
You are not lying. The game was over at halftime thanks to those two interceptions. And to address everything Stephen A. said, he started off talking about the impact of the sports media. Well, I appreciate everything he said because he talked about money in your pocket. I'm a player. I'm done playing. I am receiving money in my pocket for being a part of sports media. So, Stephen A., you're absolutely right. I love that you made that point.
Feels like he said that 45 minutes ago.
He did.
I mean, this is first take. So you get in where you fit in, you make your point, you shut up, and you pass the ball. I'm understanding my role as I get used to being here. So you talk about these two quarterbacks. You talk about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I do think that we're looking at them a different way after you watch that Super Bowl. And the reason being so is you talk about Jalen Hurts compared to these two guys, and we said it all along going into the Super Bowl that we don't see Jalen Hurts at the level as them. And everything Stephen A. said is correct. As a football team, the Philadelphia Eagles just killed the Kansas City Chiefs. But at the same time, we're evaluating these quarterbacks on championships. If not this year, then when for Josh Allen and for Lamar Jackson? Because you look at both of their football teams, there was something different about them this year. The Buffalo Bills, you get rid of Stephon Diggs, and you felt like there was a weight lifted over their shoulders. Everybody eats. Josh Allen wins his MVP this year, and they look like they're at a different level. The Baltimore Ravens, you go out and you sign Derrick Henry, 1,900 rushing yards. They look like a completely different team from the AFC Championship game a year ago. They're not going to forget to run the ball this time. This is what's going to get them over the hump. So they lose their games. They don't make it to the big game. So now they're sitting there. They're having a Super Bowl party. You got your family and friends over. You got your little drink. You're enjoying. You can't wait to see Kendrick Lamar at halftime. And then you're watching this game, and it's over. But so they got to be texting each other like, we lost to this team.
This was the year. Kansas City got exposed. This was the year for Buffalo and Baltimore.